Stugotz here for Lightstream. If you're thinking about saving money this summer, why not start by paying less interest on your credit card balances? Refinance with credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream. It's an easy way to save hundreds to thousands of dollars and lower your interest rate. Lightstream offers credit card consolidation loans from 5.89% APR with autopay, lower than the average credit card interest rate of over 18% APR. Say goodbye to high interest rate credit cards this summer and start saving with Lightstream. Guys, they did it for me. I promise they can do it for you. Our listeners can save even more with an additional interest rate discount on top of Lightstream's already low rates. The only way to get this discount is by going to lightstream.com/Levitard, lightstream.com/Levitard, subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.5% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com for more information.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, fatter? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness. And it's easier than ever with Ageless Male Max, a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction of body fat percentage than exercise alone. Plus, an amazing 64% increase in nitric oxide, which can be handy in the gym and in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max by trying your first 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. Not 10 days, not 15 days, but a full 30-day supply free when you text the word LIFT to 797979. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text LIFT to 797979. Text LIFT to 797979.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast. We got the Double Dragon Power moving right now. Y'all are ready for this. You know where to find me on Twitter, at Clinton Yates. Never at me. Foxworth, what's up?
What's happening, man? We got a lot of good stuff in the show today, I feel like.
Lot. I'm feeling very good. I'm caffeinated. I'm up here. Whenever I do the show from Bristol, I feel like a little extra oomph. You know what I'm saying? Because people.
Why? Is it like being in there and like in the heart of the beast? Get fired up?
There's a little of that. Yeah. There's more TVs too, so there's more stimulation. There's a lot going on. A lot around me. I got SportsCenter on one screen. I got baseball on another. I got preseason football replays. I watched the football game yesterday, Fox.
I'm shocked. I guess you were in Bristol last night.
No, I was in New York. I took a train up this morning. I know. It's a whole thing.
So hold on, Clinton.
What?
You were in the greatest city in the world, and you watched preseason football?
Number one, I don't think New York is the greatest city in the world. Number two, yes.
You were in one of the greatest cities in the world.
Yes, I did.
What? That is so, like, people who don't know Clinton Yates, who don't listen to our Sunday show, The Morning Roast, Clinton Yates, I wouldn't say tolerates football, but Mina and I go deep into football, and Clinton is more here for that basebal life. Is
Correct.
That fair to say?
That is absolutely correct.
So when is the last time you watched a preseason game?
I can't remember.
What happened last night? What was going on? Was it?
I was with K Ray. I was with K Ray. She wanted to watch the game. My man Daniel from NBC wanted to watch the game. We had a little squadron.
Okay, so that's what it comes down to.
The game, yes.
Yeah, that is the answer to when men do just about anything that they don't really want to do. The answer is
yes.
A young lady has influenced them.
It was fine. I don't mind football.
Oh, okay.
I watch football. I just don't like football as much as I like other things. But the point is, the reason I tuned into this, Fox, is because the Washington football team was practicing against the Jets all week. And there were a lot of pop-offs.
Right.
All week.
Okay.
We got to talk about it.
That makes sense though, because now I know. Yeah. So we had this conversation yesterday where I was on with Randy Scott, and we were talking about the Jalen Ramsey thing and how he's taking out all these quarterbacks. And I made the point that it's entertainment. And when he's talking trash, it makes the game more interesting. It makes you want to tune in. And that's essentially what happened to you in this situation, is you kind of wanted to tune in because of all the extracurricular that took place before the game.
As a former member of the Hands community, when there is a gathering of our people, I will at least tune in to take notes. Now, that fight that happened on Tuesday, I mean, there were some serious blows being thrown. This wasn't your average scuffle got out of hand situation. Dudes were trying to hurt each other. In my personal opinion, it got into the crowd. Fans were fighting each other. It moved on to 2 days later when your man Terrell Pryor was getting yelled at by Swearinger talking about, we don't even respect you with a quarterback, which was weird, by the way. Like, is that really how the hierarchy goes in DB life, Fox?
And also he caused the flinch. But yeah, I think that receivers are important, but it's almost impossible to cover any receiver if the quarterback is nice. So if you got a quarterback, all of a sudden you got a lot better as a receiver. So I mean, I understand where Swearinger's coming from on that one.
Did you watch this game?
I did not. I mean, I took in some of the clips, the important stuff. It seems like the big story coming out is, Teddy Bridgewater might be the best quarterback on the roster, but he might also be, traded or cut coming up here soon. That's my general takeaway. Did you have the same analysis?
I watched Sam. Sam is a guy, in my opinion, this is not hot take analysis, but it's like, I think the case for many rookies who are, when he's good, he's good. But when he's bad, it looks real ugly. And that's sort of what I noticed. I mean, just needs more first team reps, in my opinion. It's not like the Burgundy and Gold are that good, but he seemed to be on point when he could get it there. It wasn't like, there was a decent strata of plays he made. I was entertained by him. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. Darnold, that is. Bridgewater, though, a little solid. He's been in the league for a while. Who would you start, Fox?
Yeah, I'd start Darnold personally.
Why?
I think that we talked about this a bit when we talked about the Browns. The best thing that you can have in this league is a quarterback on a rookie deal, a competent quarterback, a starting level quarterback, and maybe even a Pro Bowl level quarterback on a rookie deal. And when you have somebody like Teddy Bridgewater, he's on a 1-year deal. If Teddy Bridgewater starts and balls out, then you're in this situation at the end of the season where you have to pay him starting quarterback money or you lose him. So I guess the argument for the other side is you start Teddy Bridgewater and wait until the team is not going well, and then you bring Sam in. But what if the team continues to play well? Then you're stuck at the end of the year with a quarterback, and I guess stuck is a bad word considering they haven't had a quarterback in a long time. But at the end of the year, you have a quarterback who is in line to get a starting level quarterback contract, and you have a rookie quarterback also who can't get on the field. I feel like that's a tough spot to be in.
Todd Bowles looks like the deacon whose kid brother is the pastor at a black church. He's never making it to the pulpit, but he's got to be at church every week. That's who Todd Bowles looks like.
I got another question for you because it sounded like earlier you said, as a former member of the hands community, when did you turn in your card? What happened? I thought you were still a member.
I mean, once a member, always a member.
Okay.
The fade is free. Understand that. But there was a time when your boy was a little more active, as they say, in the community. Those days had to end. I had to start respecting myself a little more, respecting my family, respecting those around me, and not just getting up in it whenever it was time to go. That's what happened.
I don't know that previous Clinton Yates, but this current Clinton Yates seems to have no problem getting up in it.
Oh, I don't have any problem getting up in it. The question is whether or not I activate the hands.
Okay, it escalates to hands. Got it.
Right. And those days are over. I got too much to lose for that these days, Fox. Can you imagine your boy out in the streets on TMZ?
I can't wait.
That would be terrible.
I'm sorry that I'm rooting for it, but a Clinton Yates fisticuffs TMZ video. I mean, you say you got too much to lose. Depending on who you get into it with and how it turns out, might be good for the whole career.
Why are you doing this?
What? I want to see if you really got them hands. That's all.
You know what kind of fighter I am? Not a clean one.
Yeah, I knew that.
It's a takedown, elbow to the throat situation. That's how your boy goes.
There's no such thing as a clean fight.
Fair, Roy. I'm just saying some dudes be acting like, you got to box and all this other nonsense. Nah, dog.
No, and there's no talking either. There's just straight fighting.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you.
See, yeah, I am not deeply entrenched in the hands community because the pre-fight chest bump and trash talk is important to me. I got to do that.
None of that.
What about kicks? I draw the line at kicks. You can't kick in a street fight. I refuse to allow it.
If one is on the ground, a kick is allowable.
I consider that a stomp, but I mean, if you're standing up, you bringing a kick, jumping knee?
No.
Okay, just check.
Just because I don't want to lose my balance on my feet. I don't have that kind of up down. You know what I'm saying? Like you lose leverage if you're going airborne and you don't actually know what you're doing. That's foolish. I wouldn't do that. I do not recommend that, kids, joining the hands community. How much do you think Todd Bowles puts in the plate at church, Fox?
Nah, Todd Bowles he's taking a big wad, but he's only putting in a buck or two.
When's the last time you went to church?
What was the last holiday? I'm a Christmas and Easter. Like, my wife goes every single Sunday. I'm gonna hit you up with Christmas and Easter. That's my thing. What else is there?
Why don't you hit him up with Sports Center, and then we have to talk about a very important matter. Very important matter.
Don Le Batard.
Why do we still do this, honestly?
Why do we still work with him? Why do we put ourselves halfway in this position?
Through?
Why do we work with this person?
Old.
We should stop working with him.
Yeah.
We have offers.
We need to find something.
You have offers. I don't have offers.
Stugotz.
Oh, hey, Dan.
Hey, man, what's up?
Back. We were just talking about how much of a delight you are.
So we pivoted. I think we're in a good place. This
yeah, it's going to be so good this year. Get ready.
Great to see you guys so confident.
Yeah. Flying high.
Yep. This is going to be an utter disaster.
He's still here.
I've been working with him for 12 years, and I still go home upset with myself that I allow this to happen.
I am clinically depressed because of this guy.
By the way, support group at my house on Wednesday night.
Really?
I need it after this. I'll see you there.
I hate him.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We have a very, very important matter to discuss. Some of you might have seen me on your televisions on Around the Horn. We do a little bit on that program known as Behind the Horn, where they take clips from the entire day of taping that we've discussed off air, and they put them on the internet. They're often fun, little frivolity, Fox, that are not related to sports, just things that come up in the course of day-to-day discussions. I happened to use a microwave before yesterday's show. So when I got to the seat, I said, hey, Sarah, Spain, what's your microwave method? I was met with derision, insults, laughter at me as if this topic was completely ridiculous, which, okay, if that's what you think, fine. But I'm sorry. I grew up in a household where I had to use my microwave a lot. And not just to make popcorn, not just to stick in things that already had instructions on them for how long you were supposed to heat them up. That leftover life is for real. You don't want to mess that up, Fox.
Yeah, I like to consider myself pretty honest. I'll be pretty honest with you. If you come around with some nonsense, I'm like, that's a nonsense thing to bring up.
Right.
But I was surprised at how they treated you, because who does not have like constructs for the way that they behave around a microwave? Like, microwaves are our lives. We grew up with microwaves. They are the center. I don't care how rich you are or what part of society. There's no one who doesn't at least interact with a microwave at least once a week. Like, and for them to act like they don't have a go-to move, like, I know what I do. When I go to my microwave, there's a button at the bottom that says add a minute. Hit that. That's my starting point. I hit that. It starts immediately. Then I might add another minute if I need it, but that's my move. I go add a minute.
Okay, so let's establish some ground rules here. Plate of food, a meat, a starch, a vegetable on it. What's your go-to? You're a 2-minute guy, Fox?
No, so I got a full plate. I'm gonna put the full plate in, and there is a reheat button. I hit the reheat button, and then I press start. And then I just do other things that I need to do, and I come back, open it, check on it, close it, and restart it if I need to. That's my move if there's a full plate.
Okay.
There's one item, you go add a minute.
Fair. Now, I don't like the restart. I'm like that guy. Like, I don't like going back for the bags in the trunk with the groceries. It's a one-trip situation for me. I'll get to how I operate, but we're going to get everybody's thoughts on this because I need to make this point clear. Microwave methods are real. So let's go around the shipping container, say your name, and tell me how you use your microwave, please.
Hi, this is Chris, and the way I use my microwave is The same way as Tony Reale. I'm 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then judging on how much food I got there, and then I'm taking it out and when I think and I might stick my finger in and give it a little test. But the thing that I do with the microwave that's a little strange, that drives my wife crazy, is there's always 1 second left when she goes into the kitchen. It's because I hate the beeping of the end of the microwave. So I am always gonna, with my hand on the door, pulling it open with 1 second left, just because I don't want to hear the beep.
Okay. That's fair.
So, Chris, I have a similar situation where my wife doesn't like for it to not be blank. So it may not be 1 second, but it might be 45 seconds. But I take my food out and I close it, and whatever time's on there is time on there, and she'll come behind me and press cancel and clear it out because the screen has to be clear.
Right. Another hack that I have is when I'm doing protein, like a chicken or a steak or beef, I'm if it's a big piece, before you reheat it, cut it up so it's smaller. Because if you put in a big chunk, you're gonna put 2 minutes worth, and it's gonna dry it out. It's gonna taste rubbery. You cut up your meat small, that way it gets hot quicker. Not as rubbery. Boom.
Okay, we've moved off topic here. Let's stick with the timing mechanisms, please. Who's next in the shipping container?
Life hack attack.
Hi, this is Allison. I do the same thing as Chris, where I stop it with a second left, but I hit cancel because the second actually bothers me too. And one thing that I don't like a pet peeve of mine, is when I go to put something in the microwave in a communal area, like at work, and I go to do the minute thing or add 30 seconds just to start it, just to get things nice and warm. But someone's left 38 seconds or 45 seconds, and then it won't start, and then I'm looking at it, and I can't figure out, is it 3:33 in the afternoon, or is that how much time is left? What's going on? And then I'm fighting with the microwave.
Allison, your microwave method, please.
That was Allison.
That was not Allison. I don't use a microwave.
What?
Yeah, I don't. It's soggy and gross and mushy. I like
You don't
crunchy.
know how to use it. That's the problem.
Do you eat leftovers?
That's fine. No. That's fine. We'll table that.
You don't eat leftovers?
No.
Moving right along.
Wow, Rich.
Fancy.
Mikey C, what is your microwave method, sir?
Actually, my microwave method right now is a mess because most people have a 1,000 or an 1,100 watt microwave.
Oh my God!
I just got a microwave. I got a 600 watt microwave.
Oh, you got a weak microwave.
So first, I gotta think about how I'm gonna work with a regular size microwave, and then I gotta have my graph next to me translated to a 600 watt setting. So yeah, I'm a mess.
But what are you heating up? Cigarettes?
Right. Anyway, okay, thank you. Roy, your microwave method, please.
We don't use the microwave in my house for two reasons. One, the microwave is broken and has been for the past 3 years. And two, my wife believes that it changes the molecular structure of the food and it is unhealthy. So I don't use the microwave.
Okay. The point here is that everybody has a method.
And some people have no methods.
Yeah. Some people don't have a working microwave.
Right. But if you use your microwave, you don't just freestyle it every time you get there. There's probably something you've been doing since you were 12. Let me tell you what I do. Repeating digits no matter what. Some of you are afraid to repeat your digits above the minute mark because you're not used to seeing that. So the 6-6, the 7-7, the 8-8, the 9-9, that's the Z-axis of microwave material, Fox.
So it's only two digits? You never go to the third digit?
I get into the third digit.
Wait, hold on. But you can't put 90 seconds on a microwave. Wouldn't that be a 1:30?
What's wrong with your microwave? You can put seconds on your microwave.
You can only do seconds up to 60.
No.
That's wrong.
False.
That's wrong.
False.
Go
get your microwave.
We'll discuss more of this.
Don Lebatard.
Fake Marty Smith, you're on ESPN Radio.
Stugotz.
Hey, Benno! It's Marty Party! What are you guys doing? Hey, Stu!
Hey, Marty!
Yeah. Hey, guys, I just parachuted out of a plane, man, and Tuscaloosa just got down here. I'm with Nick Saban, man!
Yeah,
we're about to go bass fishing on some jet skis!
Yeah, that's great.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN.
Clinton Yates, Domonique Foxworth, Mike Golick Jr. What's up, Gojo?
What's going on, guys?
We're talking microwaves. I was displayed as a pariah on Behind the Horn yesterday because I wanted to discuss people's microwave methods. We've gone over everybody's method. I'll tell you mine, Gojo. I am a repeating digit guy.
Yeah, so I saw this clip yesterday on Behind the Horn, and you're right. You were ostracized pretty quickly in this. I gotta say, so this is a thing that you just do consistently, like out of habit. You do it to make a point. Like, I'm not sure I understand it because, listen, as I've often said, as a reformed fat, I spent a lot of time with microwaves in my day.
Okay.
I pride myself on the ability to kind of eyeball food and understand what it's going to need.
Right.
Like, I sort of look and you sort of gauge, but I do it. See, I'm lazy and I enjoy the fact that the microwave, when I hit the certain digit, will automatically go to that minute marker. So I just hit a 1 and it goes to a minute. My microwave, I hit a 2, it gives you 2 minutes.
Right.
If I hit 90, it'll give me a minute 30. So I like the fact that I don't have to do a lot of work. That's what I'm a minimalist when it comes to my microwave activity, which I guess you are too. If you're just doing
that's
the same
why
way.
I'm doing the same digit, Fox. It saves time.
But it makes sense. I understand why you would do the same digit, and I don't have, like, you are still in a defensive crouch when no one here is jumping on you. We all support you and agree with you and understand it. We're friends here. We don't understand how to use a microwave.
How much time is it actually saving? Because you're pressing the same number of buttons.
Not necessarily. Not if you're going for a minute 30. You have to press 130. If you're going minute 30,
I guess
you press 99
yeah.
and you go ahead and get to a minute 39.
Thank you.
See, what I want you to be careful of here is I don't want you to be beholden to any one thing too much. Like when I think about it like this, my grooming habits, I like to floss. I feel like that's a good thing to do, but I got in this habit for a while where I had to floss every night, and I felt like if I didn't floss, I was doing something wrong, and I was like, I don't ever want any one thing to have that kind of power over me. So some nights I'll intentionally not floss just so I can go to bed, and I'm like, all right, I know I can do this. Just like sometimes maybe you mix it up and you go with an even bit, like, you know what, maybe I'll just do a solid minute today instead of the 111, just so you know nothing has that kind of power over you.
Perhaps, but to me, it's not like an OCD thing. It's just a habit. It's just easier for me, Fox.
So Gojo, you got to floss every night. First of all, rule number 1. Are there other things? So are there times when you're like, I'm gonna go ahead and go this week without showering because I do not want water and soap to have its way over me? Is that a thing?
Not like a full week, but like you give it a couple of days. Like if I don't work out for a couple of days, I don't have like a direct need to shower, and it's just like I live alone, so it's just me at the house. So it's like, who is it really hurting?
This is fair, Fox. You don't have to shower. Why bother? We talked about something during the break that is another very important topic. The dap situation. Gojo is known around Bristol as an excellent dapper.
Yep.
And for those of you who don't understand how Bristol operates, there are a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life. So how you approach someone, the dap is critical to like what you're going to think of them outside of the context of their job. So
it's also, I think it's also critical for what you do think about them.
Yes.
Because I come in with a dap for people I like and respect more, and other people come in with a head nod or a straight arm handshake. I mean, if you get a dap offer from me, it means a lot.
I think that's true. Like, I always do. I take that as a sign of like, oh, like that's a nice affinity. Like, this is a person, and God forbid it's like, it's the quick dap where you get a high five and it goes straight into the hug. Like,
slap dap.
The slap dap to me is like, that's the top of the list.
Yes.
That's the one you covet above all else. So, while we're on this subject, by the way, of people you dap and don't dap, I have to give some love because you guys asked me before, like, when was your first dap?
Right.
And I couldn't remember. It's because I was raised by a good dapper. My father, 55-plus-year-old man, 55-plus-year-old white guy.
Really?
Strong dapper.
Why you sound surprised, Clinton? The man spent his whole life in football. Like, he's been dapping for a long time, too.
It's no joke. Literally, there's a picture in my dad's office. My dad played for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he was on the D-line with, like, Reggie White and Jerome Brown and Clyde Simmons and all these great guys. My dad was the only white guy on that D-line, and so there's a picture in his office that's signed by the rest of the D-line. It says, "To the honorary black guy." He said that there was a preseason game they played one time. It was down in Atlanta, and they walked into a bar down there, and it was an all-black bar. And my dad's like, I walked in, and it was like a scene out of a movie. Everyone stopped and was looking right at me.
Right.
Like Animal House.
Yes, 100%.
Animal House, Roy? You like Animal House? How old are you?
I'm 34, but yes, I watched Animal House. It was a good movie.
It's cultured. Of course he likes Animal
All right,
House.
I'm going to give you guys one guess. There is someone at the company who, when I offer dap, tries to forcibly convert my dap into a handshake. It's an on-air personality.
We know exactly who this person is.
Every time I offer this man a dap, and we've had a conversation where I'm like, nah, I'm giving you this dap because I like and respect you. And he's like, I'm giving you this handshake because I like and respect you. And we're at odds. Every time I see him, I come with a tilted elbow to suggest to him, what up, bruh? Good seeing you again. Dap. And he tries to wedge my arm back down to a handshake. One guess.
All right. I want us to do this on the count of 3. I want everyone to say their guess on this one. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Will Wayne.
It is the one and only Will Kane.
So you guys are at like how serious is this? Roy, how did you not know that?
I should have known.
I mean, because it's like I've worked with him a lot, and our first interaction was just straight beef. We squashed that beef, and now we still only have like on-air beef. And since then, I've offered him dap to suggest like, all right, I know where you stand, you know where I stand, I like you and I respect you. And then he tries to like muscle me back down to do a handshake, and no, I dap him, bring him in for a hug, and send him on his way because that's how I feel about him. But he's always like, no, the handshake is more respect. No, it's not. Handshake is something you do for somebody you don't really know, you're just meeting, you don't care about. You love somebody, you give them a dap.
Fox, let me ask you this. Am I led to believe that football players are the best dappers in pro sports?
Ooh.
Is this what you're getting at here? Because you acted as if Golik's dad is just obviously a good dapper just because he was a football player.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I understand that.
It's not even that football players are the best dappers. It's that if you are on a football team, you must dap. I remember like being recruited when I was like 16, 17 years old, and all the like old white coaches would come into my house, shake my dad's hand, try to give my mom a hug, and then present to me a tilted elbow to suggest dap. And all of them would go for the hug. One time I had Coach Friedgen, who I ended up playing for at Maryland. He came in and
tough dap, Fridge.
Yeah, he was not, he was at Georgia Tech beforehand, so he was experienced with the dap, but he put his face to the wrong side.
Ooh.
So we had our faces on the same side, and we touched cheeks. And I was like, I don't know if I can play for this man.
Oh no.
That's too
I don't know if I
can
can play for this man. It got really intimate, and I ended up signing with Maryland, so I guess it worked.
I could say maybe there was something about that dap intimacy that did appeal to you that you weren't even ready for.
I thought it was a mistake, but apparently it was intentional.
The slap dap is definitely the top of the list, though. And there's nothing I like more than when you don't know if the slap dap is going to happen, but halfway through you both break and you're like, you know what? Yeah. We're moving in for the hug.
But it's the slap dap and the hug. It's not just the slap
dap. The hug. That's what the slap dap.
Yeah.
The hug is assumed there.
And because you get a 2-hand hug.
Right. Oh, yeah. And Domonique, you'll appreciate this because I always remember like the strongest dap that existed on planet Earth was after those brief breaks you would get in college during the football calendar, like when you actually get to go home for a little bit of summer break. You've been apart for maybe 2.5, 3 weeks. You spend all your time with these guys, but that time away feels like an eternity. And so when you come back, it's all, hey man, how you doing? You looking good? You had a good summer? And it's immediately slap dap into like the strongest hug known to man.
Gojo, I just got chills, man. Right? I remember those slap daps. Those are some of the best daps in my life, bro.
Really God, the strongest of daps.
I feel like the shipping containers dap game is weak.
What? Whoa!
I was just feeling excited because whenever Domonique comes here, I get a little dap from him. So I'm feeling honored that he likes me.
Oh yeah, everybody down there gets a dap. I respect and like all of you. The one thing I remember when I was in Denver, we would go do these community service things with the Boys and Girls Club, and there was some dap that I was unfamiliar with. It was the slap to the fist pump, to the fist pound, which it was very awkward.
Get that out of here.
That's a big Cali thing.
It wasn't my teammates. My teammates knew the dap, but it was the young men at the Boys and Girls Club. I say, what's up to them? They give me a clap, and I'm still trying to grasp for the thumb. They've already pulled out with the fist, and I'm like, no, bro, that's not my dap game. Also, the snap dap was really popular back then too, which I got used to, where you would come out of the dap and go to the snap.
Snap dap, yeah.
But
is that a Cali thing too?
Snap dap guy.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Popularized also with a little, sort of cork on it in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
I wasn't down with that. Like, I tolerated the snap. And so is it disrespectful if someone comes out and snaps and you don't snap too? Because I did that plenty of times.
Gojo, you got one more in you? We got to talk about Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I got one more.
Cash more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Let's talk about buying a home for a minute. Because of rising interest rates, there's a lot of unpredictability when it comes to buying a home these days. It's causing a lot of anxiety and stress for a lot of people. Well, our friends at Quicken Loans are doing something about that. They're calling it the power buying process. Here's how it works. Quicken Loans will verify your income, your assets, and credit in less than 24 hours to give you a verified approval. That gives you the strength of a cash buyer. Then once you're verified, you qualify for their all-new exclusive Rate Shield approval. This is very cool here. First, they'll lock your rate up for 90 days while you shop. Now, here's the best part. If rates go up, your rates stay the same. But if rates go down, your rate also drops. Either way, you win. It's the kind of thinking you'd expect from America's largest mortgage lender. To get started, simple. Go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. Rate Shield approval, only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply based on Quicken Loans data in comparison to public data records. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Every week during the baseball season, ESPN's premier baseball insider joins Dan and Stugotz to drop some hardball knowledge and take your calls.
2 + 2, I'm going to undress you. 3 and 3, you're going to undress me. 4 and 4, we're going to freak some more.
Here is Dan Le Batard, Stugotz, and Tim Kirchen on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. Guests of the Stugotz Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. And now your SportsCenter update. Dodgers outfielder Yasiel Puig has been suspended 2 games for fighting and inciting a bench-clearing brawl versus the Giants. Marlins pitcher Jose Urena was suspended 6 games, an equivalent of 1 start, for intentionally hitting Ronald Acuna Jr. with a pitch. Hey, just a reminder, if doing your deck is on your to-do list this summer, put new Valspar stain on your shopping list. That way you can get all weather protection in more inspiring colors. Valspar Exterior Stain, only at Lowe's. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Clint Yates, Domonique Foxworth, Tim Kirchen. Tim, I know this is normally a frivolity-filled segment, but you know I'm a baseball guy, and I am incensed by what happened with the Marlins and the Braves. I can't deal with this stuff anymore, Tim. Donnie Baseball, it just seems like this is dying too slowly as a matter of course. Acuna's one of the best young players in the game. This is unacceptable to me, Tim.
Well, it is to me, too, Clinton, and it's unacceptable to most people in the game. Look, I'm all for retaliating to protect a teammate. If somebody disrespects you, your team, I'm all for knocking them down. I'm even for hitting him once in a while. But there is no excuse for hitting somebody because he's too good. We can't beat him, so we're going to hit him. That just is totally unacceptable. It's totally inexcusable, and I've never understood this. Look, this is a hard game played by hard men, and that's what I love so much about it. However, when it gets to this point, hey, this guy's too good, so we're going to have to hit him, that's just stupid, and it's got to go, and it's not going to go as long as the suspension is only 6 games. Maybe it should have been 2 starts, and maybe then the lesson would have been sent.
Ooh, 2 starts. So do you think this is going to change at some point? Because I suspect that the way that you feel now may not have been the way you felt, 10, 20 years ago when, the question is, have your views on this changed?
No, I've always felt this way from day one, okay? If somebody's better than you, you should find a way to beat him. You shouldn't just hit him. Bob Gibson didn't do this. Don Drysdale didn't do this. Go look at their hit-by-pitch rates for their career. They're right in the middle of the hit-by-pitch rate, okay? They'll dust you so you don't get too comfortable. But in recent years, it's gotten to the point where our pitchers don't know how to hit anybody anymore. Rick Sutcliffe explained this the other night, that if you're going to throw at somebody, you throw a 4-seamer at him, a pitch that doesn't move, and that gives that guy a chance to get out of the way. But the pitch that Urania threw was a two-seamer that ran in. Pitchers can do that. They can run in and hit that guy in a place and in a spot where you almost can't get out of the way when you intentionally run it in on him like that. So I've never felt this was the right thing to do, but I do feel stronger today than ever that this is unacceptable behavior to just hit somebody because you can't beat him.
Tim Kirkjian, Clinton Yates, Domonique Foxworth, 10 Batard. So we'll stick with extracurriculars, and we'll take us to the West Coast. The Puig-Hundley situation. I happen to be of the belief, Tim, that the Dodgers have to figure this out for Puig because he's never going to do it for himself. He runs hot as a player. He gets in faces. I don't have a huge issue with that. I feel like they've got to get some equivalent of a get-back coach as a base coach. Whenever they see anything getting remotely out of hand, that just gets in there. What did you think of that situation, how it developed with Hundley, and do you think Puig is just out of control at this point still?
Well, he's so much more under control now than he used to be. The Dodgers know of the issue. They have done, I believe, for the most part, a very good job taking care of it, given how he used to be. He's matured greatly, and it's one reason why he's a better player than he was a few years ago. But it's still, you can't lose guys in situations like this. Look, I go way too far back, but Earl Weaver used to tell his players, whatever you do, don't get in a fight. Whatever you do, don't get suspended, and don't throw at anybody either, because then people are going to get suspended, and they're going to get hurt, and our players are better than their players, and we are going to lose on that exchange of suspended players. So don't get in a fight. Don't hit anyone on purpose, and don't get suspended. I think more and more players and teams perhaps should listen to the sage advice of Earl Weaver.
So it seems that this season, at least, there have been a lot more position players pitching. Can you explain to us why that's happening, and is that something you're in favor of, or does it bother you a little bit?
Well, I used to love this, but this used to happen 3, 4, or 5 times a year. Now it's happening 50 times. And no, I'm not a fan of this. But I totally understand that with a 162-game season, and as much as we use our bullpens today, there is no reason to put a bullpen guy out there who's not ready to pitch in a game that's already been decided by 20 runs. So it's okay to put a position player in order to rest somebody or give a reliever a day off when the game is already lost. But when it keeps happening like this, it's just too much. There are too many instances like this. There may not be a way around it other than perhaps to tell our starting pitchers, look, you're going longer. 5 innings, 100 pitches is not good enough anymore. But if we're going to make that change, we're going to have to start way, way before the major leagues. We're going to have to do that on the minor league level, and right now we're not doing that.
Tim, do you think Domonique Foxworth could hit any pitcher in the Little League World Series?
Well, he's a great athlete, but I don't know if he's a baseball player. Domonique, are you a baseball player?
I don't think I can hit any pitcher in Little League World Series. I'm not a baseball player.
Whoa! Did you just admit that you could not achieve an athletic feat, Domonique Foxworth? Put it on the poll.
That's not really an athletic feat.
Have you ever heard Domonique Foxworth admit he could not do something athletically?
It's not an athletic feat. Like, I mean, if you want me to race those kids, I'll dust them. You want me to jump or you want me to fight one of them, put your dukes up. But hitting a baseball is more about hand-eye coordination than it is about, like, pure athleticism, Clinton Yates. Am I wrong, Tim?
No, you're absolutely right. Baseball, to me at least, is the ultimate skill sport, and that is more of a skill than it is an athletic feat. But it takes, for the most part, pretty darn good athleticism to do that. And if Domonique hasn't swung a bat in anger since he was 11, he is not getting a hit. He is not putting the ball in play against some of those hard-throwing kids at the Little League World Series. Let's not forget, they are right on top of you from that shorter distance.
To be clear, neither is Clinton. Put that on the poll. Can Clinton hit one of those guys? No.
Last question, Tim. What's your favorite story out of Williamsport this year?
Well, I haven't been yet, but my favorite story forever there was I interviewed a kid named Terrence who was, I think, 5'11", 190, and hit a ball like over the hill in left field at Williamsport a few years ago. he's a big, strong kid and a great kid. So I just casually asked him, like, when was he last my size? Because at the time I was like 5'5", 145 pounds. He looked right at me and said, I don't know, second or third grade, something like that. So I thought, since that's all I'm going to Williamsport for is for scale and context, this kid put it in pretty good context. He was my size in the second grade.
He's Tim Kirkjian, ESPN MLB Insider. Thank you, Tim.
See you guys.
Yeah.
He said you had no skills, Fox.
That's fine. You want me to fight with? I'm not going to fight with a fellow Terp. My man Tim Kirkjian, also one who has done a commencement speech at the University of Maryland. I mean, we're brothers, so you're not going to turn us against each other. You got no skills.
Oh,
you can't hit one of those kids.
Good one, bro.
You can't hit one of them.
You got no skills.
Let's get you a flight out there right now so we can see what you can do.
I could hit a Little League pitcher.
Nah, you're going to get Cade.
Cade? Whoa! Whoa!
Cade. What
is all this baseball terminology, Fox? Is your boy rubbing off on you? Cade? You got a scorebook too?
Oh, every day I do.
Wow.
Me and my man Rice.
Do you know what a backwards K is?
Don't they do those in Chicago?
What does that mean? Put it on the poll. Does Domonique Foxworth know what a backwards K is? There's no chance.
What are we asking for Clinton? Can he make contact against a Little League World Series pitcher, or could he hit a home run?
Dog, I played serious baseball. But I can hit a Little League pitcher.
But
what do you call serious baseball? Get out of here with that, Clinton. Those kids will strike you out. Did you play in a AAA or something? Did you get a cup of coffee in the minors? You ain't play no serious baseball.
Cup of coffee? What book have you been reading with all this baseball terminology, Fox?
Cup of coffee is not a baseball term.
Yes, it is.
Cup of coffee is not a baseball term. Like people say that. Maybe it started as a baseball term, but people say that about football. They say about anything. You had a cup of coffee in the league. That's a thing.
Don Lebatard. They've been around since 1896.
Oh, get out your wallet.
That's why I was getting the money ready.
Stugotz. I don't think Stugotz should be fined for that.
Great, money back in the pocket.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Headline: Argument over Aretha Franklin leads to shooting, witnesses say. The Queen of Soul passed yesterday. She made the transition, as we like to say in the elder black community. 76.
Went home.
Onto the upper room.
The upper room. We obviously love Aretha. But what are y'all doing in Virginia?
Yeah, I don't love Aretha. So apparently, I skimmed this article. So anyone, Chris likes to come in and show off that he actually reads all the articles. So if I get any of the facts wrong, big Chris, go ahead and come in. But from what I understand, the argument was about whether Halle Berry was going to play Aretha Franklin in a movie or not, right? Is that fair, Chris?
You nailed it.
Your thoughts on that, Fox?
I mean, I'm pro Halle Berry, but obviously it would take a bit of body transformation in some way or another for her to play Aretha Franklin. At least, I mean.
Ain't no way in the world Halle Berry should ever be getting close to playing Aretha.
Why not?
Because she can't sing.
So she has to actually sing it. You want somebody, so who are you thinking then? I don't know, Jill Scott? Like
Jay Hud. This is already in the works.
Oh yeah, that's obvious. That's an obvious one right there.
This is a layup, as you would say.
I feel stupid. My bad.
How are you coming to blows, never mind gunshots, over this? I don't believe this story, Fox.
You think it's made up?
I think the beef was actually simmering on a different level, microwaved, if you will, previously, and it happened to come to a head over this situation. You don't shoot nobody over no daggone Halle Berry argument. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, it's an Aretha Franklin argument. I feel like at some point, I don't know who was the shooter, what position they were on, but I assume that you don't get very mad about Halle Berry, but you get mad about suggesting that Halle Berry can play Aretha Franklin, right?
Well,
Maybe.
Hold on, because Halle Berry played Dorothy Dandridge in introducing Dorothy Dandridge for the HBO movie, so maybe she has a little bit of singing talent.
Put it on the poll. Have you seen Halle Berry play Dorothy Dandridge? Nobody on earth has seen that movie. What? You ain't seen it?
I saw bits and pieces.
You ain't seen it. Fox, have you seen it?
I saw the credits.
I haven't seen it. That's not where, I mean, if you bring up Halle Berry, that's not what jumps to mind for me. I've never seen it, so I'm sorry.
Oh, so what jumps to mind, Fox?
I mean, it's very careful. I got to tread lightly because it might come across as creepy. The first movie that jumps to mind for me for Halle Berry.
Okay, so we'll avoid that. First thing that comes to mind for me is David Justice, former Braves outfielder.
Oh, yeah. It's a bad story, but it's a good reference since we
baseball
are a
angle, Fox.
Yeah. Also a domestic violence angle, unfortunately.
Yeah. Ugly story. Why is Tevin Campbell trending on Twitter, Domonique?
I think it's Aretha related also. I've been trying to get to the bottom of this, but I think that I see Tevin Campbell trending, and anytime you see a celebrity trending, your immediate thought is, are they still alive? And it appears Tevin Campbell is still alive, but it's been suggested maybe that he's going to sing at Aretha's funeral. And some people are appalled by this, and more people seem to be on pro Tevin side because Tevin, good voice. He could sing.
Tevin Campbell was the first dude that as like a young man made me feel extremely insecure about myself. I was like, man, Tevin Campbell shows up in the place. I'm cooked.
Yeah, like this is what I got to do to get a date.
I'm like, this brother can sing. He can dress. He appears to be respectful and nice. He's clean. I got nothing on this dude.
He's clean. I like that being clean is a hurdle. You remember when he sang to Ashley on Fresh Prince for her birthday? I think
that's when I felt the insecurity the most.
So you were an Ashley fan and you saw Tevin show up and you was like, nope,
can't do it. I wonder what Tevin Campbell looks like these days. You think he still got it?
Yeah, Tevin Campbell ain't let himself go.
I don't know. I'm down.
Tevin Campbell's been keeping up his appearances, waiting for his moment, and this might be his moment. If he kills it at, I guess that's a bad word. If he blows us out of the water at Aretha's funeral, I think Tevin thinks he's got another album coming out.
What is Tevin Campbell's best song? I think it's Can We Talk?
Yeah, I mean that's what? It's a classic. That's not even a question.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what would be the runner-up? I don't know.
There's
that
another song, his name I can't remember, and I'm Googling it right now.
Yeah, Tevin, can we talk? Man, I got a great voice. I need to scrap this radio business.
I'm really upset about the Aretha situation. I don't think that people understand how vicious Aretha was. Let me make a side point here. Aretha Franklin is the American that many folks of other cultures in other countries said, she's the best singer in the world. She's the American. You go overseas, people know Aretha. She was American music to a whole lot of folks, plain and simple. And that ain't easy to do, especially not when you're a solo artist, Fox.
Yeah, I mean, it's solo female black artists. Like it was during a time where, well, it was a tough time for Aretha then, and I think she was tremendous, and I've learned more about her musical ability because I always thought of her as just a singer, but she's a tremendous pianist and arranger and all that stuff, and overcome quite a bit of turmoil to get to where she was, and everyone showed her, I felt like, a tremendous amount of respect yesterday, with the exception of, I think Fox News used Patti LaBelle's image rather than Aretha Franklin's image, but everyone else showed her a tremendous amount of respect.
And they didn't like each other either. That's no small diss.
Yeah.
What's a better song for you, Fox? Natural Woman or R.E.S.P.C.T.? This is a toughie. Roy, what are your thoughts?
Natural Woman.
Me too. Fox?
I'll go the other way. Respect.
You don't mean I can't.
That. I mean, I can't sing along to Natural Woman in the same way I can sing along to Respect. Yeah,
why not?
So I mean, because it's like, I don't know. I'm not a natural woman, maybe. Like, I can enjoy it. But I feel like I can't. Well, I guess that's not a good barometer because there's lots of rap songs that, I mean, I never sold a brick in my life, but I'll say it.
Aretha, in my opinion, is the best. You're not naming me 3 better artists that America has ever created. You're just not. You might get one.
Diana Ross.
Diana Ross can't see Aretha.
That's true. But if you're going to name 3, she wouldn't have to be one of them, right?
Uzi Vert?
Michael Jackson would be one.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about women.
No. Who's on your list, Fox?
Xan, Vert,
Lil Xan,
Young Thug,
Lil Pump.
Yeah, Pump. Yeah,
you like that Lil Pump?
Yeah, it's all that's bumping in my car right now. Can't name one Lil Pump song.
If Lil Pump walked into this studio right now, would you know who he was?
Yeah. Pump is the one with the like pink dreads, right?
Put it on the poll.
I would recognize. I mean, first of all, I would know that he was a rapper immediately because I know that he has like face tats and pink dreads.
Do you know who Lil Pump is? Yes or no?
Don Le Batard. I don't know anything. Stugotz. I don't remember what I was going to talk about. So in those instances, what I have is a default that just makes fun of Stugotz.
You're welcome.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
It's August, Fox. I turned on television the other day and I saw a college basketball game.
Yeah, I was not as shocked until you then made the right assessment. We don't even got college football on yet.
What's going on?
Money?
Did I miss something? I guess they're allowed to play an international situation. I don't want college basketball in August. I barely want college football in August. I got to see Zion out here dunking from the free throw line, which is cool, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Zion Williamson. Good God. Did you see that block he had the other day?
Why is he playing basketball? That dude should be in the NFL.
He is built like a hell of an edge rusher.
I'm dead serious.
I know you are.
If I'm an NFL team, I'm drafting him. Period.
If I'm a young kid and I have the choice between basketball and football, I'm playing basketball.
I covered Antonio Gates when he was a college basketball player. He was a pretty good ball player. But my man went on to be one of the greatest tight ends of all time.
Sure.
Gonzalez
goes that way also.
You trying to tell me Zion can't get out there on a football field? Start sacking quarterbacks?
I guess the argument is, can he play in the NBA? If you can play in the NBA, as Charlie Ward showed us many years ago, you go with the NBA rather than go with the NFL if you have those choices. I guess you're saying that he may not have that choice because, Clinton, you would have to agree.
I'm saying I'd rather see this dude play football than play basketball.
I would not rather that for him. Maybe for my own enjoyment, but for any player.
Put it on the poll. Should Zion Williamson play football?
Hell no.
He's huge.
He is huge. He does look out of place when you see him in the basketball games. You're like, what is that football player doing out there?
He's got
dribbling
that
around?
like fat boy jumper. Takes a long while to get it up. Not exactly smooth. Fun basketball player.
Yeah, he's explosive.
But I feel like this guy should be a football player. You heard the latest about LeVar Ball?
What's LeVar up to now?
You know, he's got this baller league or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
where all the teams are named ballers of some sort. And it's supposed to be sort of a third option for kids coming out of college. Now, apparently, he's icing out players, not paying them their money.
Oh.
This is not good for LeVar.
This
is
terrible.
Ending very badly. I wanted this to end well, Fox.
Yeah, LeVar Ball was somebody that a lot of us were championing, and he is embarrassing himself and us, unfortunately, because he tried to go about things a different route, which maybe you have to be a little out of control or a little wild to do that, and maybe the next person who comes along or the next player who comes along will be able to follow in his footsteps and do things a little bit better, but he hasn't had a win in a long time.
When do we think he destroys the Lakers season? Which month of the year?
I don't think he does. Like, I don't think he's capable of it. Well, I mean, talking trash about LeBron is the only third rail you would hope that he does not step on. And my guess is that his son, his respect and love for his son will stop him from doing something like that.
Why are you lying to me? I'm looking right at your face. You don't believe
I believe it.
No, you don't.
I do. He knows that his son is on thin ice in part because of him. He doesn't want his son to be run out of LA. All he wants is his son to be on the Lakers, be on a championship Laker team. This is the best chance. These next 4 years is going to be his son's, most likely, his son's best chance to be cemented as a Lakers champion. He's not going to mess it up for him.
LeVar, listen to me. Find a way to align yourself with Kobe and blow it up from the inside. This is what I need for the Lakers season, Fox. A full interior collapse
of drama in Lakerland.
What about Kobe Bryant that you know about Kobe Bryant his whole life makes you think that he wants to be anywhere near LeVar Ball?
I didn't say that it's going to work. I'm saying if you're LeVar Ball, you get out there and you just start touting the excellence of Kobe and creating a massive smokescreen. You align yourself with the Kobe stands
at it
for the purposes of creating chaos because you don't like how Lonzo's being treated.
Lonzo is not being treated poorly.
They're mistreating him, Fox. I heard he's having to microwave people's popcorn.
Well, if it's LeBron's, then he should.
I heard he's out here washing cars for LeBron and his side dudes.
Well, the side dudes is too far, but I mean, LeBron. It's fair.
I heard he's making in and out runs just for the team.
Well, I mean, as long as he gets the Kings' order right, I'm comfortable with all of that.
They're
None
mistreating Lonzo in L.A., Fox. I heard it was Kobe's idea, too.
Kobe is apparently doing quite well as his post. So the post career of NBA players is something that is super interesting. NBA stars, because they never leave the spotlight. Like
right.
You think about what Larry Bird is doing and Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. Kobe's already won an Oscar, and now his investment in Body Armor, the drink company. He had a $6 million investment, is now worth $200 million. So Kobe, I don't know that he needs any of this other stuff. He is pulling the second career act as the Renaissance man who wins awards for film and invests in up and coming companies. Like Kobe is doing pretty good for himself. He does not need this LeVar Ball smoke.
You said that with some level of respect, as if you think Kobe intentionally thought that this was going to go big. Athletes invest in stuff all the time that goes super busto. You know that.
I mean, everyone invests in stuff all the time. Like, it's just the venture capital model is to invest in a bunch of things and expect 18 of them to flop and hope that 2 of them hit big. So the fact that he hit big, I suspect that, and part of the reason why it's successful, maybe because Kobe was aligned with it. So I'm going to give Kobe some credit. I'm not going to laugh at or try to downplay anybody who turned $6 million into 200. You did something right.
I'm not downplaying it. I ain't got $200 million for doing nothing. Good on him. But I'm just saying, are we to believe that it had anything to do with Kobe outside of the money? I'm actually asking you that as somebody that knows this world.
I think that it's smart. So I think a lot of people, particularly in the last 10, 15 years with all these internet companies and startups blowing up, a lot of people have been interested in investing in companies. And I think it's smart to invest in companies where you think you can have some impact. And if the company is Body Armor, a sports drink, essentially, obviously one of the best basketball players in the last 20, 30 years is somebody whose influence may matter. So I think that Kobe Bryant, of all the people who probably invested in Body Armor, Kobe Bryant is probably the most influential. You could probably give him, short of whoever the founder was, Kobe Bryant probably deserves a lot of credit for bringing Body Armor to the mainstream. So $200 million, he deserved it. He earned it.
Big baller Body Armor, Fox. I can hear it now. It just rolls off the tongue.
Oh, God.
Lovely little side product. I heard they got it in all the bodegas in New York now. That's what I heard.
Did you watch any of the Ballers League games?
No.
Were they on TV?
No.
I mean, you were a Big 3 fan, right?
No.
You were not a Big 3 fan either?
I am a 3-on-3 FIBA basketball fan.
Gotcha.
I am not a fan of the Big 3. I don't need 4-point baskets on weird spots in the half court. That is not my brand of 3-on-3. You know that I'm a 3-on-3 aficionado. I like a more refined game of half court hoops. This nonsense with the old guys out here who can't even dunk, I ain't here for that.
So I should have known better, because you are also someone who does not believe in playing basketball by 2s and 1s.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to get you started on that one.
Oh.
You're an all 1s guy. You're an all 1s guy. So I'm fine with 2s and 1s. I prefer 2s and 3s. I don't appreciate all 1s. If I hit a shot from distance, I need more points.
It ain't that far away, Fox.
It's far enough to give me more points.
You can't do math?
I can do math. You're the one that can, who only wants to go by 1s.
How much more is 3 than 2, Fox?
50. How much more is 3 with 3? It's 50% more.
How much
3
more
is 50% more than 2.
It's 2 than 1.
I'm not doing your math test. I already passed your exam. I win, you lose. 3-point shots should be worth more than 1 point. Like, that's just simple.
It's not that hard to hit a 3 on the high school level.
Excuses.
A word from Valspar. Summer's winding down, guys. Have you stained your deck yet? If the answer is no, then get on over to Lowe's. They've got Valspar one-coat exterior stain and buy one, get one half off savings. But this sale runs now through August 19th only, so it's time to get off the deck and stain it. It couldn't be easier. With Valspar one-coat stain, this buy one, get one half off deal won't last forever, so don't miss out. Hurry on over to your favorite Lowe's store now through August 19th. The Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Catch more of the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz, 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Is your home an ADT home? Get ADT and help protect against break-ins, fire, and carbon monoxide. For a limited time, get ADT's lowest rate starting at just $28.99 a month from the most trusted name in home security. ADT is the first security company to help keep you safe at home and when you're on the go. Go to ADT.com/podcast to take advantage of ADT's lowest rate. With 36-month monitoring contract, early termination and installation fees apply. Excludes taxes and fees. Applies to traditional services only. Certain markets excluded. Licenses available at ADT.com.
Clint Yates, Domonique Foxworth. I'm in Bristol. He's in D.C. And when I'm in Bristol, since I have a lot of friends, because I'm a very popular person, Domonique Foxworth.
That's funny.
I just bring them in.
Bring him in.
Jeremy Schaff's here with us.
It's an honor, sir. It is an honor to be here with you.
I need to describe what's happening here. The level of discomfort.
It's horrible. You give me like a defective headphone.
Is dealing with right
I can't. Now. It's like broken. Are we on TV? Can anyone see how I'm struggling with this? Or is this just radio?
I literally opened the door and just screamed, "Hey, Shap, get in here!"
And like a Pavlovian dog, like one of Pavlov's dogs. Somebody said you could be on the air, and I said, "Oh, these work." Okay.
And now he's here.
We got a Pavlov reference during the break. We had a Luddite reference.
Works?
Okay. Shap is all over the place with the references. Can't even get his headsets going.
Got the headset on.
Are you ready to do radio, Jeremy Shap?
I am ready.
Domonique Foxworth, can we continue with what we were talking about the last segment?
What was it?
So the question was, who has been nicknamed by John Gruden as the NFL's White Tiger?
Wow.
Any guesses? I mean, you are the White Tiger of ESPN, Shaq.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Put it on the poll.
Wow.
Is White Tiger a good nickname for Jeremy Schaap? Now, Fox, I have a question for you. Is White Tiger related to this player's style of play or what he looks like or some emanation of his personality? I don't know where this comes from.
I'm not sure if you deserve clues, but I'm going to give you one. Okay. I think based on John Gruden's explanation, it's more about personality and behavior.
So it has nothing to do with albinoism. As far as we know.
I don't believe so.
Because usually when you're talking about white tigers, it's actually they're albino tigers, right?
Yeah.
Not just Siberian tigers.
I'm so glad we brought Shaq in.
I don't believe it has anything to do with that. And to be clear, he is not the first player that John Gruden has nicknamed the White Tiger.
So
he's the second White Tiger.
Recent thing. So there was a White Tiger in the initial John Gruden NFL coaching tenure.
Yep, John Gruden seems to have a thing for White Tigers.
Okay,
and
who was the guy?
One last clue: is the White Tiger a white man?
That's a big clue right there.
I mean, he would have to be, right?
False, Shap. You're false. You're wrong.
Not necessarily.
The White Tiger, neither White Tiger, the original White Tiger, nor the current White Tiger were white men.
I'm going to say the White Tiger is Ryan Kerrigan.
Shap, you got a guess?
No, I have no guess. So when he's talking about, I'm still trying to define the terms. So when he's saying white tiger, he just means a very rare talent, an exceptional, unusual talent.
I'm guessing Fox. This is Fox's account.
Oh, okay.
Kind of, I guess.
Who is the White Tiger?
Martavis Bryant.
Why is he the White Tiger? I don't even understand this.
He said, I have to find the exact quote, but this was from Chris's show sheet. By the way, another thing that takes place during
Carr.
Nope, it is not. Another thing that takes place during the break is Roy sends out a show sheet, which is just a bunch of links and summaries of articles, and Chris sends out a show sheet also, and we have dueling show sheets. So during the break,
show sheets.
Yeah, it's always, and when we get to a story, each guy seems to take a little credit, like, yeah, that was from my show sheet. But this is from Chris's show sheet. So I don't know if Chris is still in the shipping container.
Is this something someone would want to take credit for? I'm just curious. I'm not being a smartass. I'm just.
Well, I mean, you are, obviously.
Okay.
We love Jeremy.
You could be both.
Thank
Jeremy,
you.
how familiar are you with the Le Batard universe?
You know, I mean, I've known Dan a long time, before he was a multimedia, multi-platform kind of superstar. And you know, I was fond. I think I like the old Dan more, kind of the more low-key, you know,
statelier
print
Dan
guy, you know, before he, you know, now he barely deigns to recognize me if I happen to bump into him in Miami. He's too big for me now. It's kind of sad, actually, and I have a chip on my shoulder about it. And I remember 20 years ago, we used to host back-to-back radio shows on, I think it was Sunday mornings on ESPN Radio.
Okay.
And my show since then has been moved, I think, from like 9 a.m. to 6 a.m.
You can name the show. That's kind of a thing we do here.
Oh, yeah, it's called The Sporting Life.
Thank
and
you.
It was back then as well. And it used to be on at like 9 a.m. and now it's like 6 a.m. It's kind of hard to find. It's barely on. And Dan, you know, now has like 25 shows on in very desirable time slots. So he's kind of just left me in his wake.
Put it on the poll. Is Jeremy Schaap jealous of Dan Le Batard?
Of course. Who wouldn't be jealous of Dan Le Batard?
Here's the John Gruden quote. I used to go to Busch Gardens in Tampa. We called former wide receiver Joey Galloway the White Tiger in Tampa. You go to Busch Gardens.
That rings a bell.
You go to Busch Gardens and they've got a white tiger. 13 years I went to Busch Gardens. The white tiger was always in the cage. Well, the white tiger came out today. Bryant came out.
Wow. He was always in the cage.
Gruden's analogies don't really hit with me.
I don't know if you get that analogy, but sometimes he comes out to play and sometimes he doesn't. It's good to see him because he's really special, like a white tiger.
Wait, so when he's saying white tigers, he's saying somebody who's in the cage and has not come out of it and demonstrated all of their fierceness on the field, or he's saying someone who is capable of such things, someone who occasionally does it? What is he saying?
The way that I interpret this is that Martavis isn't practicing enough. And it's like, you come out, you don't know if you're going to get the white tiger. And so you show up to Busch Gardens and there's probably a big cage, and sometimes the white tiger comes out and sometimes the white tiger hangs out back in the cave or something. And
this is a
enclosure.
backhanded diss.
That's what I get.
Yeah.
It's like saying he's special, but he's kind of temperamental.
However, if you're going to make such a point, right, and you're going to be an NFL head coach and paid, what does he get, like $25 million a year or something to coach the Raiders? I mean, shouldn't clarity of communication be paramount?
That's a good point.
And if we're sitting here trying to interpret what he means, then it seems to me that John Gruden, with all due respect, has failed in this particular rhetorical exercise.
Wow.
But no, I would argue, I understand. If I was on Gruden's side, though, I would argue that this is a delicate situation, and you would like to hint to your player that you don't appreciate this without embarrassing him. So that's why he called him White Tiger, because people can interpret this as like, oh, he's a rare special talent, but also he's kind of moody.
I'm supposed to believe that John Gruden is playing these kind of mind games with his players to some level of effectiveness.
That's what makes him great.
How are you around animals, Jeremy Schaap? How are you in a live animal situation?
Oh, I'm very fond of animals. I grew up in kind of a menagerie. Actually, at one point when I was a kid, we had, not making this up, 8 cats, 2 dogs, and a parrot. Technically a conure, which is not precisely a parrot. It's kind of a parrot-like bird. But at one point we had 8 cats. I mean, my mother was like a cat woman. And here's the strange thing. And I know this is exactly.
Here's the strange thing?
Yeah, that was the strange thing.
So I grew up around all these animals, animal lover, very fond of animals. We took a cat off the street. She had 6 kittens. We kept all of them, raised them. I go off to college when I'm 18 years old. And I come back like Thanksgiving or whatever it was, the first break. And now I'm allergic to all of these animals, basically.
Wow.
And apparently that is not exceptionally unusual. Apparently, like if there's some level of constant exposure, the allergies, the histamines, I guess, are suppressed. But if you go away and there's no exposure whatsoever, and then you're hit with all of these animals or one of them or however many you come back, then the allergy kind of presents itself in a way that it hasn't previously. And so to this day now, I'm still allergic to these animals I grew up around.
Shap facts.
That was very enlightening.
Yeah, I think it's true, actually.
Jeremy Schaap, you don't know this, Fox, is full of all sorts of useless knowledge. We might have created a bit here.
Shap facts.
Shap facts.
See, I would dispute Clinton the idea that any knowledge is useless.
See what I mean?
Yeah. Jeremy, what do we start this show with, Clinton? How about you talk to Jeremy about his map knowledge?
Okay.
Because you dropped some useless knowledge on us earlier.
Very quickly.
I'm not looking at anything.
Are you familiar with the concept of projections in maps being different?
You mean like a Mercator projection?
Thank you.
Boom!
Thank you.
I mean, everybody knows Greenland's bigger than South America on a Mercator projection.
My man.
Shap facts.
You can tune in and check us out on OTL today, 1 p.m. on ESPN Radio. Excuse me, on ESPN.
Don Le Batard. Fake Marty Smith, you're on ESPN Radio. Stugotz.
Hey, Benno! It's Marty Party! What are you guys doing? Hey, Stu!
Hey, Marty!
Yeah. Hey, guys, hey! I just parachuted out of a plane, man, and in Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa just got down here. I'm with Nick Saban, man!
Yeah,
we're about to go bass fishing on some jet skis!
Yeah, that's great.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, Clinton. This show's weird. It's awesome weird because in the off chance that sometimes I forget that it's weird, I get the show sheets. And it's such a unique show sheet from any other show that I do where all the other shows will be talking about, I don't know, Arania or whatever, throwing balls at people, and their show sheet will be full of stuff like that, and Kobe with 6 million to 200 million. This show has dueling show sheets where Roy Bellamy and Chris Cody both send different show sheets, and each story is weirder than the last. So I want to do something. I want to do dueling show sheets. So we won't go through the whole show sheet, but we'll let both of these guys present the stories that they sent us for a discussion on the show, and we'll decide who had the best show sheet today.
Roy, you want to start?
Sure. JJ Redick finds cage person in cab.
I'm out on that off top.
Why?
Caged person is an instant exit for your boy.
But for a show topic, that's a hot. I read the story. It started out reading the headline, like kind of laughing, but then you start to read the story and you're like, this is terrifying. At the end, fortunately, JJ did call the police. I don't know what happened to the caged woman who was in the back of his car, but I mean, you got to give Roy points for finding a terrific story.
Good point. I'm just not reading it.
Chris, what do you got?
Well, this game's not really fair because all of my fun and cool stories have already been used on the actual show.
Ooh,
so I feel like that is winning the show sheet battle in itself. How many of Roy's stories have you guys actually talked about on the show today?
I just talked about JJ, so count it.
So that's one.
All right. Well, the Aretha story was
that was in my show sheet.
No, that was in my show sheet.
Well, see, Roy does this thing. I send Roy my show sheet, and he'll still put because I sent mine ahead of Roy's. Mine was sent last night, and Roy will still duplicate.
So this is like
stories.
A hockey game where the home team gets the last change situation, and you are utilizing your advantage in the chain of command to usurp
what you got, man.
his show sheet. Is that what's happening, Roy?
No, that's not what's happening.
Okay.
So Chris's show sheet story was about the Halle Berry, Aretha, but then the Fox News edition that I pulled out was a Roy edition. So maybe your show sheets collaborated well.
Let's just say we're tied right now, and we'll go with the rest.
I had the I had the White Tiger story. That was my show sheet.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
We're not tied. Chris is in the lead.
What you got, Roy?
In-N-Out Burger sends pun-filled cease and desist order to In-N-Out Stout beer.
I feel like I need the pun-filled thingamajig. I didn't even read
go ahead
that
and
one.
find it and read it.
Well, I got to do all the work.
Because it's in the show sheet. You're supposed to read these things so you can talk about it on air.
Also, how many of Roy's stories are sent from Allison? That's the real question.
Wow.
None of these stories were sent from Allison.
Mm-hmm. You took credit for Allison's story yesterday, if I remember correctly.
I don't know if I did or not.
That's
If
a
I did,
regular
then yes,
occurrence.
it's
That's
Allison's story.
That's a regular occurrence. So, like, Dan will be like, the show sheet was great today, and then Allison will be like, yeah, I sent him that.
So we got a show sheet ringer?
Maybe.
What's your next story, Chris?
My next one, this one's just interesting. It's not that wacky. It's just interesting to me. Bill Barnwell, best 53-man roster within the salary cap. Have you guys seen this story?
All the way out.
It is loaded, this roster.
Yeah, I read that story yesterday, actually. It's interesting because he put some weird kind of restrictions on himself, where you have to pick somebody from like every draft, and you got to have somebody from every team. So you don't end up with a completely loaded a team. You end up with guys whose names you may not know, and guys whose ratings, and they use Madden ratings, which is also interesting, because Madden is apparently the end-all be-all for how good a player is.
But
so I enjoy that.
But the starters, though, are loaded. Like, you're right, the bottom of the roster is filled in with just random dudes, but the starters, whew.
Roy?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Roy.
My third story is 8,000 baseball fans recreate food fight scene from Animal House.
2 Animal House references.
That's
today.
2 Animal House references. Let me tell you something, Domonique.
Yeah, but the first one wasn't in the show sheet.
I respect that. That's good, because it is a sports show. So he tied sports in with a wacky story. It's high degree of difficulty.
But I'll tell you this. I'll say this about Animal House. Animal House, Caddyshack, Slapshot. Out on all of them. These movies are old. They're not funny to me at all. Whatsoever. That's not a knock on your story. I'm just letting you know where I stand, because people consider those classics. Not funny, Fox.
It's a knock on Roy's story. I'm with you, Clinton.
Here's another one from the Roy show sheet. Man sentenced to 148 years in prison for forcing motel couples to have sex at gunpoint.
I got one crazier than that.
No, you don't.
Gronk is actually good with money.
I saw that. And Gronk got a diamond-studded chain.
I don't know who's winning the show sheet battle right now. Because there's a number of stories versus a quality of stories element here. Whereas I feel like, because more of Chris's stories have made the show in earnest, where the quality of Roy's stories are better. Does that make sense, Fox?
And
that makes me a winner.
And Roy always does the show sheet, by the way. I'm the one coming in here. I'm not even a full-time show sheet guy. Yeah. So I'm just coming in here and I'm
who's saying?
I'm beating
you got Billy Gill on your side?
I'm beating Roy at his own game. This would be like if Roy put up the podcast better than I did. It's like, no, that's my thing, the podcast. Roy's the show sheet guy, and I'm coming in here.
I probably did put the podcast
and I'm
up
beating
better
him.
than you did.
I don't know. Sometimes the podcast is a little late. I got to be honest with you.
You got to get that in on time.
That's on days like today where I'm actually talking at this time in the show when I should be putting it up.
Yeah. We can put an end to that real quick.
Yeah, we could.
Free tuition for all NYU medical students. A $55,000 per year surprise.
That was mine.
What? That was mine.
I guess we both have it.
It's on the Roy show sheet.
I am so annoyed with how little Roy looks in my show sheet. I sent mine at like 9:30 last night.
I looked at yours last night.
Art Browse visits Houston.
Oh, you said the name.
Thank you.
That is the best story of the day. Winner. What is Art Browse doing there, Fox? Let us know.
I don't know how Art Browse got out of hell. Like
stoking embers, perhaps?
They got a parole situation down there?
Is he recruiting?
For hell?
To take folks to the basement?
So he's on a recruiting visit? He's up here just visiting people like, yo, let me tell you, it's not as bad as they say.
They got new unis in hell.
Yeah.
Dan Lebatard.
I have a child.
Stugotz.
Farts smell worse when you need to make a poopy.
This is the Dan Lebatard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
This is my last segment of the program.
Aww.
Alas, I'm going to do another program on television known as Outside the Lines, Friday 4. So you can tune into that on your TV sets. So that's where my day is going. And after that, Domonique, I'm getting on a plane to go to North Carolina. Raise up.
Take your shirt off. Whip it around your head like a helicopter.
Where are we supposed to say the next line? You did say the next line.
I was, but I was thinking about actually putting the song up on the air. So,
North Carolina for a family reunion. I'm a tad nervous about this.
Are you nervous about your own family? I got a family reunion in North Carolina at the end of the month myself.
I'm only nervous about it because I'm at the age now where I can't really opt out of anything. You know what I'm saying? It's a full-blown, if there is a problem, I am in the age group of folks that has to solve it, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm not a kid anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not old enough to ask people to bring me plates. It's a work situation, effectively.
I guess so. It's clear now. You're not hanging out. You're past the age where you can hang out with like the cool crowd, because there's normally a few crowds. There's like the young kids, and then there's like the young adults. It's kind of cool. It's like teens to the 20s and some 30s, but you are well into the old crew now.
Yeah.
You're with the Frankie Beverly and Mays crowd.
Right. I'm in the y'all don't know nothing about this crowd. That's where I am. And I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Like, what am I supposed to do at the function?
Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to be playing cards or dominoes. That's important. Yeah,
definitely
you have to be
playing spades.
Yeah,
Uno,
playing spades or dominoes. Uno, potential. Like, you are at that table. You're also at the complaining table. You got to complain a lot.
Right.
You got to find something to complain about, whether it's aches in your bodies or it's how somebody's kids is acting or your work. Something like that. You got to be in there like, man, they don't.
Not the food. You can't complain about the food.
Yeah. You can never complain about the food.
What should I complain about? I don't know. You know what I should complain about? I should complain about Foxworth.
That's a good move.
I should act like Foxworth is the worst person on earth.
That's a good move.
Oh, we like Domonique. I'd be like, I don't know about Fox. Grimy behind the scenes.
I like that move. That's a good move.
Stole my fried chicken last Tuesday.
It was delicious.
Just make up a bunch of stories. Next thing you know, Domonique goes to North Carolina. People are like, are you Domonique Foxworth?
Yeah. I'm going the week after the last week I got a family reunion down there too. Are family reunions a black thing? Like, do white people have family reunions?
Put it on the poll. Do white people have family reunions?
We can put it on the poll, but I mean, we got some white people around. We can ask them.
Why?
That's fair. Put it on the poll.
That's a joke. Chris, Mikey, do you guys have family reunions?
I have not had a family reunion, but I don't have a huge family, so that could be an issue.
Like I said, I had one that I could remember, and that was the only one. So no, I think it's a black thing.
So, Smokes, when you had a family reunion, did Before I Let You Go by Frankie and Beverly and Mays play at all?
Whoa!
What was that?
Yeah, you didn't have a family reunion.
No.
Nah, you didn't have a family reunion. You had a gathering. Because it's not a family reunion unless whoa is heard at least once.
Thank you.
No, the accordions came out, but that was about it.
Accordions?
Yeah.
My concern, though, is this, Fox. I want to usher in a new era of music at these family reunions.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I respect Frankie Beverly and Mays, that can't be the bulk of the playlist. But I don't really...
Yes, it can. Yes, it absolutely can. Okay. You don't know what you're talking about.
To be
you guys
fair,
have DJs at these, or who runs the playlist?
This is the whole point. Yeah. I'm in control.
Yeah.
I'm in a control position age where if I so chose, I could probably commandeer this. But I don't know that I want that responsibility. And so I'm torn.
I mean, the aux cord is important, and it's normally the age group that you're in now. Like, the ones who are too old, like the 60 and plus, they are not in control of the aux cord. No. The ones that are younger are not. It's normally the 30-somethings that control the aux cord because they control just about everything at the family reunion. So it's a lot of pressure.
We're man down, too. We're playing short. Because the person who normally controls this is not there. He's an actual professional musician. And he's not going to be there.
So what do you want to introduce?
I want to introduce a trap element to the family reunion.
What about the old people? You think they listen to trap music?
They about to.
Oh, boy.
So do you go edit it or you go...
I don't know. Yeah. This is my concern.
I feel like you got to go edit it with the kids.
I'm thinking of sliding on the, y'all can't understand the words anyway, so we're good.
Yeah, you're probably right. But to be fair, kids these days, like with access to the internet and social media and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure nothing in those songs is gonna upset the children.
Is Future appropriate for a family reunion?
I'm comfortable with it.
I'm okay with it.
I mean, you're in the South. I feel like you have to play some Southern trap music. 21 Savage might be a step too far.
21 Savage, I'm not doing.
It's a bridge too far.
That's way too far. I'm concerned, though, that I'm going to cause a rift in the family by trying to introduce some new music to the situation.
No,
yes,
you're fine with causing the new music. The problem is the classics you got to keep in. So, like, do not omit Frankie Beverly and Maze.
True.
You just got to move aside some other songs, and you can't omit some of the line dances. Like, that has to happen. It causes a group element.
Yeah, the electric slide has to stay.
That's true.
Cupid's Shuffle can get up out of there.
Don't love Cupid's Shuffle. I think I might be out on the music, Fox. This is too much pressure. I'm crumbling under the pressure.
But I feel like if you don't say anything and you just drop one of them in, you're a champ. Everyone's going to celebrate you. All the younger people, all the people in your age group and below will be like, finally.
You know what we're going to do, though? And this I'm actually really excited about. I'm going to force my family to tell stories about their lives, like the elders. And I'm going to record them.
Oh, that is awesome.
You like that idea?
Yeah. So everyone's going to tell, or it's just like the older?
We'll have a mic set up. And when people want to come tell their stories, I have some old paraphernalia from the family, and they can peruse them and tell stories. Isn't that a good idea?
That is. Sentimental, Clint. I like that.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell a story?
Will I tell a story?
Yeah.
No.
And if you have a black version of Allison in your family, that's probably not going to go over well anyway.
Allison doesn't talk.
That's a good point. But that's why I have the materials. I'm very much looking forward to this family reunion, though, because I'm very excited about all my uncles and cousins calling me Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, that's guaranteed.
Big time.
Yeah.
Or superstar.
Yeah, and you are out of the Youngblood category.
I'm way out of the Youngblood
No one
category.
will call you Youngblood anymore.
Nobody. Because I'm too old. I got two younger siblings.
Are you old enough to now call people Youngblood? Because you... are you not quite at Youngblood status yet?
I don't think... First of all, I'm not the kind of guy that says Youngblood.
I feel like at a family reunion, someone has to be... If no one else there is saying, what's happening, Youngblood? How you been? If I had your hand, I hand mine in. Like, these are things that must be said from an older black man to the younger black man at a family reunion. If it doesn't happen, not a family reunion.
I'm just trying to be like you, my boy.
Yeah, exactly.
A whole bunch of cousins.
Yeah.
A cuz.
A lot of cousins. Put it on the poll. Is Clinton Yates old enough to call anybody Youngblood? I'm trying to help you out here, Fox. I got to go soon.
Oh, yeah. We got to run down these poll things. We got to put as much stuff on the poll as possible because I'm doing the last segment solo, and we need some content.
How do you feel about that?
I feel great. Should be good. I mean, to be fair, you are one of the most hated co-hosts in Le Batard Show history.
Thank
you. I feel like a lot of listeners are looking forward to this final segment.
You should be. It's going to be clean. There's not going to be anybody yelling. You can turn your radios up. But in the meantime, I'm still here. Domonique Foxworth, what are you doing this weekend? Tell me quickly before I leave.
I don't know. Fatherhood, parent stuff, that sort of stuff.
That sounded exciting.
I mean, it's every weekend, man. Like, it's a thing. You become a father, then you look forward to Mondays more than you do Fridays.
Ain't that the truth?
I'm going to go outside the lines. 1 o'clock, ESPN, Fox. I'll see you later, brother.
Whoa, whoa!
You can listen to the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio, and you can watch on ESPN News.